Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Clarence Park, where the Saints have gone down to a third home National League South defeat of the season. Bit of a surprise this one, 2-1 at home to Bognor Regis Town. Bognor's first season at this level, haven't won in the league since August, and their first away win. Looking at that lot, Ian, it's hard to gloss it and put any gloss on it, but in the first half I thought we played extremely well and had enough chances to put the game beyond doubt.
I think you did right, David. We got in some great areas, but I felt today our final decision making, our final pass, our final cross, shot, whatever, was poor. Even in the first half, we had lots of possession and we moved the ball really well again. And as you said there, we had a number of chances. But it's the same old, same old. If we can't keep clean sheets and you can't get in front where you can relax and let teams come at you and then you can hit them on a counter attack, you're always going to be chasing the game. And in the end, we failed to deal with two situations again, which is it's boring now. To be fair, it's the same old, same old, same old. And for me, I'm a bit lost for words, I think, today, because we worked on it at length this week, and people are asked to do a job, and we've not done the job correctly. And unfortunately, if people can't do that, then we've either got to look to try and bring one or two in that can do it, and maybe move one or two on, because I think today was the worst for me all season. And I said before that Braintree for half an hour, but second half today I felt people weren't brave on the ball, didn't want to get on the ball, didn't move the ball, passing was poor, and overall I just thought second half was a very, very poor performance. And as I say, I have to take responsibility because I put a lot of faith into these players, but unfortunately I feel today that we've not reached a level that deserves to win a game of football. And full credit to Bognor in the end. They worked more than us, they worked harder than us, their quality was better than us, and in the end I felt they deserved the victory.
I don't think too many people disagree with you. In that second half we did disappear completely, and even in the first half I thought when Bognor were under the cosh, they broke well. They knew where each other was and they played it well.
Yeah, it's something I've got to go away and look at. We changed the shape last 2 weeks, but we conceded 5 goals. So again, I spoke to you probably 2 weeks ago when we played well in about maybe changing the shape and looking at different stuff. And as I say, it just sometimes we look back at it, and you think we've getting 2 situations again that we've given, and we've not defended the situations well. We fly kicked the ball in the box and miskicked it. People have been given jobs before the game, haven't adhered to that situation. So if they can't do it, then they're going to have to come and sit on the bench and see if they like it on there. And if they don't like it on the bench, then we might have to move 1 or 2 on, because as I say, we can't just keep sitting here week in, week out, coming up with the same excuses. And it's been boring now, and I'm totally bored with it. And I keep saying I put a lot of faith in this change room, and I think the change room at the moment, on certain situations, are not adhering to what they're being asked to do. And as I say, I felt, though they looked a very, very young side today, Bognor, I thought it was men against boys second half, and I felt we were second best. And I think it sums it up in the last minute with a throw in from Lane to Tom Bender. Sells him short, and I mean Tom's very, very fortunate he's not been given a straight red there, and that would have hurt us even more because that's a 4-game ban. So we got very fortunate in certain situations today, but we do leave ourselves totally exposed by keep going behind in these games, chasing the game, and in the end we've come unstuck today. We come unstuck. Last week we got away with it because of 2 30-yarders from Zane and from Reece Williams. We can't keep doing that week in, week out, and at the moment we're in a poor vein of form, and if we're not careful, we're going to get dragged into the bottom half very, very quickly, and that's a concern at the moment. So I've got to address it. As I say, I'll look at the squad and see where we are, but we might have to try and bring 1 or 2 men in to try and make us a little bit bigger and a bit stronger and a little bit more protective in terms of winning games of football.
You mentioned that we couldn't defend situations. Obviously you mean set pieces, which is what undone us again. So funny enough, a couple of supporters did say to me at half time, what do we work on in training? But as you say, you did try to address it during the week, and no improvement.
If the supporters want to come, we train at Goslin on a Thursday night, and we train at Nicholas Breakspear on a Tuesday night, 8 o'clock both times. So any supporter is more than welcome to come and see us train, because we train hard. And if I said to you that we worked on over an hour on set pieces against on Thursday night, then I've got nothing to lie about. At the end of the day, it's a situation that's there. Unfortunately, we've got personnel not adhering to the situations, and as I said before, I've got to make sure we've got the personnel that will listen to what we're trying to do. We've got situations where they will become big, strong and powerful, and not let ourselves down in them situations, because it is becoming a bit of a chore in terms of every time we get one against us, it looks like teams are going to score against us. But we've had opportunities today to clear the ball for the second goal, and Zane Banton's ended up on the goal line where his job is to be on the edge of the box where the 10 is. You know, we've got to have people take responsibility in there. We can't just keep coming from us setting up set pieces, and then people that are involved in the game have got to take responsibility from it as well. So, as I said, I'll take responsibility that we've not been good enough. I take responsibility from the fact is that we've not defended them properly. But at some stage, some of the players will have to take responsibility that they're given the jobs to do and they've not done them correctly. But as I said there, you know, I've got to take that responsibility in terms of the personnel, because as I say, it's been going on now for probably 4, 5, 6 weeks. I've said to you week in, week out, I really believe in this change room, and I believe in the change room, I believe in the personnel in there. But you know, at some stage we've pulled out challenges today which I didn't like. I felt the second goal come from us not going through, and I felt the ball was 40-60 or 60-40 in our favour, and we let them win the ball. And there was a couple of incidences in the second half where we should have been winning them tackles, we didn't, and they come away with the ball. So we're great on the eye at times, we pass the ball for fun in training, you know, we do keep the ball, but at some stage you need to have a bit of mental strength in there, and you might have to have a little bit of not so much aggression, but somebody wants to go and get about the park and win tackles, and they're the things that I'm going to have to think long and hard about this week. And unfortunately we're in a situation where we just can't change it for the sake of changing it, but I need to liven 1 or 2 players up, and also liven myself up from that side of it, because I've allowed it to go on for 4 or 5 weeks now. Keep making excuses in terms of personnel, in terms of centre halves being injured. So at some stage I think I've been loyal to a lot of the players. I think I've been very, very loyal, and I've backed them and backed them and backed them, and they're a great bunch of lads, they're great footballers. But we can't play football and be nice on the eye, as you said in the first half, and keep losing games of football, because that's not good enough at the end of the day.
Of course, it hasn't helped losing central defenders Tom Gardner and Harold Joseph for long-term injuries, and they're still some way off from coming back, I believe. But you tried to bring in another defender this week?
We tried to bring Miles Anderson in from Torquay, but unfortunately the finances that they wanted from us was a little bit too high. So we had to turn that one down. But we still keep looking. As I say, you know, Tarek Moore's trained really well this week, so I need to get another good couple of sessions into him this week, and we'll see where we are next week with him. But hopefully he'll make a bit of a difference. If we can get him in, you know, we might have to get into a bit of an open game on Tuesday night just to see how he reacts after that. But you know, Harold Joseph isn't a million miles away, he's coming back, but Tom Gardner's probably going to be Christmas before he comes back. So it is a problem, but again, you know, we have to put up with that. But again, you know, you're asking not only defenders, it's also forwards and midfield players have to do the defensive side of the job on set pieces, and today, you know, the whole team from the front to the back haven't defended well enough on set pieces. Yeah, you know, we've had a great chance. Tom Bender's had a great chance to clear the ball for the second goal and miskicked it. And I really felt once we got back to 1-1, we really started to dominate the game, and we really started to impress and impose ourselves. And I thought it was only one winner at that stage in the game. We fouled to. It was our corner. Our corner led to it. The ball dropped on the halfway line, or just in front there. Zane Banton hasn't gone with any intention to try and win the ball for me. I think he pulled back and let their fellow win it. And next minute they've got a corner and they've scored from it. So, you know, I'm naming players today because I feel that players haven't really gone and put themselves on the front foot today and made themselves important, and I've protected the players for a lot. But at some stage they've got to take their own responsibility, hold their hand up and say that I've not actually given this club enough today. And we've just had a good talk about it there, and as I say, I'll be the first to hold my hand up and say, okay, I've not performed well enough. And today, because I've allowed it to happen again, because I've allowed us to concede 2 goals, which is less to us, I'll hold my hand up, I'll take full responsibility for that. But the players also have to hold their hand up in some of the situations where they've not gone and competed correctly. And it's down to me now that if we're not going to do that, as I keep saying it, we can be great on the eye, we can look great football, pass the ball for fun, our movement's unbelievable, but at some stage we have to take responsibility in terms of our defending, and our defending again today hasn't been good enough.
You're talking about changes on the pitch, you made one off the pitch as well, with David Noble, the club captain, now also one of the coaches. In what way will that change the way he is with the team? I
just think it'll help in terms of some of the stuff that he's been doing with the players on Tuesday night. He worked hard in some of the keep ball sessions, and it allows myself or Lee to go and watch other teams, which we did on Tuesday night. I was training with David, Lee went and watched the player for us, which we might be able to bring in over the next 7 days. So, but it just allows on a Tuesday night where, you know, I can go and watch a game, Lee can go and watch a game, and David can take one of the sessions with Lee. So, and it just obviously his next stage of his career. At some stage, you know, he has to and wants to get involved in the coaching side of it, and I just think it gives us another body in terms of that side of it. But you know, first and foremost, you know, he wants to continue playing. He's very much a part of what we're trying to do here. But you know, we've got to get our performances correct on the pitch really on a Saturday. Though that's, you know, for me that's a great signing in terms of David being involved in the coaching seat. We have to get our performances here, and David Noble and being a coach at this club can take second best at the moment, because I think there's a lot of people hurting today, and we have to improve all over the park. Myself, Lee, David Noble and the team have to improve, because at the moment it hasn't been good enough.
Well, it's 11 points I think from 13 games now, is it? I think most people are aware of the statistic. So we've lost today at home to a side that hadn't won away this season. Next Saturday in the FA Trophy, we're at home to a side that hasn't won at home, but they have picked up a few good wins away from home. Poole Town, a run with a trophy would ease some of the problems we've got, one suspects.
I think it would be nice, and then if you look at it, and you know, I said the other day, I mean, I think it's last 64, isn't it? I think so. You know, it's going to be in a situation there you win a couple of games and you can be in the last 32. So you see it with Gosport a couple of years ago. It's a great incentive to go and have a good run. I mean, some of the conference national sides, they actually don't take it that seriously if they get involved in trying to get into the Football League, because of the money they can earn. So we've got to approach it, as I say, we've got to approach it, you know, like we did at the start of the season when we went down to Poole. You know, we had to be big and strong and powerful, and we got the result. But you know, I'm just thankful at the moment. You know, we've got those 6 wins at the start, because if we hadn't have been, you know, we'd have been in a major relegation battle at the moment. And with what we've got at the moment, we as I say, we're great on the eye, but there's something missing, and I've got to try and put that right as quick as I can, because otherwise we're going to go into December in the bottom half of the table, and once you do there and you're not picking up wins, you see it last year what happened. You know, we got dragged into a situation where we defeat after defeat after defeat, and we've said it before, winning's easy, winning becomes a habit, but also losing becomes a habit, and there are lots of things that we've got to work on again during the week, and we've got to try and nullify, and I've got to try and make it hurt the players, that when we concede goals that it hurts them. It's too easy just to keep conceding from set pieces every time, because teams know that now, just put the ball in the box and we'll score a goal because they don't defend properly, and they're the things that we have to try and work on again this week, and try and make sure that we're right when time we come against Poole next week, and then I think we've got a hard game going to Truro the week after.
Right, thanks so much Ian, we wish you a productive week. So thanks. Next in action, a week today, that's Saturday the 25th of November, Poole Town are visitors to Clarence Park, FA Trophy, third qualifying round, kick-off is at 3 p.m.